Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager here for Fireside Chat number 311. Mr. Tubbs won't stay in his bed, but he is here. So I don't know if you're catching him. So this is our new guy. You have not seen him much. The famous and great Otto is in doggy heaven, as you well know. Welcome to the Fireside Chat. I talk to you about what is on my mind, then I take your questions, and it's a unique half hour each week, which has come to play a role in a lot of people's lives. I'm very happy to hear. I know this from the people who stop me at airports and mention the Fireside Chat. So I'd like to talk to you about a couple of lines that are offered by quite a number of people at this time with the Gaza-Israel war taking place. So one of them needs to be addressed in particular, and then I probably will address a second that you hear a lot, but this one in particular, something to the effect, and in my column this week, I actually cite the sources of people saying it, and it goes something like, well, you know, Palestinian children are as precious as Israeli children or babies. Sometimes they do babies, sometimes they do children. So I always think about what people say. Now, is there anybody in the West, is there any pro-Israel supporter? Is there any Israeli? I mean, there are kooks everywhere, but is there any normal Israeli, typical Israeli, who would ever say that's not the case? Who is it being directed at when people say, well, you know, Palestinian children are as precious as Israeli children? This is a very important subject to address because it seems to be making an important point, but in fact, it's either making an obvious point that nobody really needs to hear, since there is no movement in Israel to deny that Palestinian children are precious. It doesn't exist. Do you know, for example, and I cite it in my column, how many Arab children, Palestinian children from the West Bank and from Gaza are treated in Israeli hospitals? Hundreds have been treated in Israeli hospitals, and I presume often for free because they don't have the money with which to pay the hospital. This is normative. No Israeli blinks about this. Of course we're going to treat Palestinian kids in our hospitals. Kid has cancer, you bring him to this ward, and that's expensive treatment. But it doesn't even occur to an Israeli to think, well, that's a Palestinian kid. We're not going to treat that kid with cancer. It doesn't occur in Israel. It is a given that all children are precious in Israel. So the people who make that point are almost always anti-Israel or pro-Palestinian, which basically is the same thing. And they're making it as if Israelis and their supporters need to hear that. Oh, gee, we didn't know that. Thank you for telling us that Palestinian children are as precious as Israeli children. As if we didn't know. That's why they're treated in Israelis' hospitals. That's why Israel, probably unique, I don't know, in modern, maybe in all of history. Do you know that when Israel has attacked Gaza after being attacked, they only attack after being attacked? They have actually let Palestinians, Gazans know where they will attack so that they can evacuate that building. And that kills the element of surprise for Israel. But they drop leaflets. They actually text Gazans on their phones, please evacuate your building. We are going to attack it. That's why you should watch our video at PragerU. Richard Kemp, I believe a brigadier general in the British Army, who was the head of all British troops in Afghanistan. He gives this presentation at PragerU that Israel is the most moral army in the world. And this is a member of the British Army, a high-ranking member. If you would like to see the rest of this fireside chat, and I certainly hope you do, that you go to PragerU.com or just get the PragerU app and start watching the fireside chat each week with the PragerU app, or just go to PragerU. The reason is because we don't trust social media not to suppress us one day. And we want people to know that these wonderful things that we put out at PragerU are available through the PragerU app or straight at PragerU. So please now watch the rest of this fireside chat at PragerU.com. See you there.